It's difficult to look at the...
And the Oscar goes to...
Protesters here in D.C. and New York, across the country, they've settled on a nickname for the president. They've been calling him Genocide Joe. They wrote it on the gates. Do you have a response from the White House to that nickname that they've settled on?
We're not worried about nicknames and bumper stickers. I mean, it's First Amendment, free speech. The president's focused on, as he wrote in his op-ed, on making sure that we can continue to support Israel as they fight a terrible terrorist group, Hamas, and as we all work together to get humanitarian assistance in and get people out, including hostages. I said this the other day. Again, people can say what they want on the sidewalk, and we respect that. That's what the First Amendment's about. But this word genocide is getting thrown around in a pretty inappropriate way by lots of different folks. What Hamas wants, make no mistake about it, is genocide. They want to wipe Israel off the map. They've said so publicly, more than one occasion. In fact, just recently. And they've said that they're not going to stop. What happened on the 7th of October is going to happen again and again and again. And what happened on the 7th of October? Murder, slaughter of innocent people in their homes or at a music festival. That's genocidal intentions. Yes, there are too many civilian casualties in Gaza. Yes, the numbers are too high. Yes, too many families are grieving. And yes, we continue to urge the Israelis to be as careful and cautious as possible. That's not going to stop, from the president right on down. But Israel is not trying to wipe the Palestinian people off the map. Israel's not trying to wipe Gaza off the map. Israel's trying to defend itself against a genocidal terrorist threat. So when we're going to start, if we're going to start using that word, fine, let's use it appropriately.
So people can say what they want on the sidewalk, but the facts are this: Hamas wants genocide, but Israel is not trying to wipe Palestinians off the map. Israel is not even trying to wipe Gaza off the map. Now, who exactly has John Kirby been listening to? Presumably not Israel's defense minister, who said this: "We are imposing a complete siege on the city of Gaza. There will be no electricity, no food, no water, no fuel. Everything is closed. We are fighting human animals, and we are acting accordingly." I assume John Kirby had ignored that statement. He just hadn't seen it. Maybe no one had briefed him. Presumably, Kirby has also ignored the military commander in charge of the occupied territories, who said this: "Israel has imposed a total blockade on Gaza. No electricity, no water, just damage. You wanted hell, you will get hell." No genocidal language there. None at all. Or maybe Kirby just ignored it again. Now, perhaps Kirby was also otherwise occupied when an IDF spokesperson said, quote, "The emphasis is on damage and not on accuracy in Gaza." And maybe his translator was taking a break when a defense official said, quote, "Gaza will eventually turn into a city of tents." Of course, one can only assume Kirby didn't get the biblical reference when Netanyahu referred to Gaza as Amalek, meaning Israel should kill every man, woman, and child there. And nor did he notice when the finance minister said this: "I agree with every word of Giora Aylan in this column." Now, the column in question proposed using epidemics as a weapon of war against the 2.2 million people in Gaza. So when it comes to genocidal language from the Israelis, John Kirby doesn't want to hear it. He's got his fingers in his ears. No, hear no evil, see no evil.
1 tahun sebelumnya.
It's hard to look at what he's doing in Ukraine, what his forces are doing in Ukraine, and think that any ethical, moral individual could justify that. It's difficult to look at the...
And the Oscar goes to...
Sorry. It's difficult to look at some of the images and imagine that any well-thinking, serious, mature leader would do that. So I can't talk to his psychology, but I think we can all speak to his depravity.
You've previously asked Netanyahu to minimize civilian casualties. Do these numbers say to you that he is ignoring that message?
What they say to me is I have no notion that the Palestinians are telling the truth about how many people are killed. I'm sure innocents have been killed, and it's the price of waging a war.
So I can't talk to his psychology, but I think we can all speak to his depravity.